Beautiful. Hi.
What's up, everyone? Nice to be on the Frankencast for the first time. Quite an honor to be here with the gentleman of the Frankencoin Association. First and foremost, Lucius, chairman of the board. How are you, sir?
I'm excellent. So it's an exciting day to be on the first centralized exchange.
Definitely a very major step for ZCHF. And of course, the managing director, Johannes. How are you, kind sir?
Hi. Well, very excited actually. It's been a pretty hectic few days. And I am really, really happy that we've all managed to get this up and running and that it's just, everything works. And yeah, well, I mean, we'll see the numbers in a sec, but I think it's really, really cool. So I'm great.
Yeah.
Well, outside it's raining like hell. Summer is over in
Really?
Switzerland. Yeah.
Already?
I just took a quick stroll before that, and now it's. I was, it's gotten dark at 6 today, so I guess summer's over, but that's good. I'm great. Thank you so much.
Nice.
By the way,
sorry?
the ones who don't know D-Advisor yet, so D-Advisor is I think you're probably the most known online personality in this room here, in a crypto or Twitter sphere. But he's and we can make this like an official announcement. Basically, he's supporting us and making kind of the Frankencoin online even greater. Is that more or less it?
Amen. Definitely trying and definitely appreciate the opportunity by you guys. I actually think that in the sphere that I'm mostly following of DeFi, and in the past at least a year and a half or so, stablecoins and their huge impact on the industry, it was very refreshing for me to learn about Frankencoin and to talk to you, Johannes, for the first time in January this year, and to actually all of a sudden realize how, it's like you're under this illusion that a stablecoin is a US dollar automatically because it's all you know about. But all of a sudden, when you realize that, wait, there's a bigger picture here, and there are other elements that should be considered, and why should actually like the stablecoin market be like 99.5% or whatever it is, or US dollar denominated, doesn't really make sense. It made me learn a bit about actually the amazing story of the Swiss franc and what's happened compared to the dollar in the past 50 years. It definitely made me curious and noticed Frankencoin and what you guys are trying to do with ZCHF, the Swiss franc stablecoin. And really excited actually about delivering this message the best we can out there, because I really think that it's an important message to be shared. I've actually used the opportunity this week on Leviathan News, where I do most of my streams, and I bought the ad slots that we've offered. So I've already presented it on our pinned posts of the week with the squid. We call it the squid pass. We do an auction for the slots. I won it this week. It's now like one of the Frankencoin posts is on our X and on our Telegram, and also we give a shout out on our streams. And actually also bought another new slot that we've offered for the first time, which is the Squid Pass interview. For those who don't really get to them yet, I want to offer these like interviews, whether streamed or written, and it was really a good opportunity for that. And really excited about delivering the new message. And of course, with such big news as we have today with MEXC. And I do think it's good that we've started a bit with just this small talk, because I want to have some people gather around and be with us. Not for everyone, it's so easy to remember that it's going live. But I think that we can, in like a minute or two, start, because I'm very curious to let you guys speak of this actually very important milestone for ZCHF and the Swiss franc stablecoin project, with the first ever major CEX listing. I think that MEXC is a name that everyone knows. I haven't used it personally myself, and I haven't used CEX in a while. But definitely, I think it's a name that, I don't know, everyone basically what it is, you know what I mean, which is a very big, like, what's it called?
Centralized exchange, right?
Yeah, so no. I mean, like the very thought of like the idea of being like it goes without saying. We say in Hebrew, like okay, you guys are on MEXC. Okay, that's like it's like a vouch of legitimacy in a way when a project is big enough to get on some places. So definitely, I want you guys to tell us about. How did it happen? How did it come about? What like how was the process? I'm pretty sure, and even from what I saw on the Telegram group, wow, there's so much to be done in order to actually make it into a reality.
Yes, it's the stuff behind the scenes, but this is, I think, which differentiates a bit what we here do at Frankencoin as well to many other, especially like meme coin projects. What you typically see is that there's so much behind the scenes and kind of below the surface that just needs to be in place, because in the end, what are we actually building here? We're building infrastructure that tracks the Swiss franc on chain at scale, or the value of the Swiss franc on chain at scale, and that is there's a lot of kind of nitty gritty stuff you need to get right, like how do you do the market making, how do you make sure that there's liquidity all across the different venues you need to, how do you make sure that you have really good venues from and to fiat, what do you do if someone comes and wants to exchange 10 million Swiss francs into Frankencoin? Those kinds of questions need to be taken into consideration, and they need to be in place if you want to do something like a proper CEX launch and a proper kind of launch going out as we did this week. And obviously, I'm super honored. I'm just the guy kind of running this thing day to day, but I am backed by this tremendous team in the association, and maybe that's like a good opportunity to also introduce Lucius here for the ones who don't know him. He's basically, I'd say, the godfather of the brand of, I had a meeting
so
with
I
a very
planted
large,
the seed, so to speak.
exactly. I had a meeting with a very large DeFi protocol, and maybe we'll hear a bit about them very soon as well. Beginning of this week, and he said, Frankencoin is really weird. If you look at stablecoins, you can trace kind of the roots back basically to MakerDAO, and you have these ancestors. But Frankencoin is a completely new concept. Frankencoin doesn't fit in there, and this is true because this is the work you did, Lucius, right?
It's still inspired by the other decentralized stablecoins, like DAI Liquidity in particular, which I like a lot, and where we also know the founders. So it's and I think it's a great opportunity to have this. So what motivates me is the thought of bringing in transparency into money creation. It's democratization of money creation. So we have decentralization of value with Bitcoin. Anyone can own a digital gold without relying on banks or intermediaries. And we have a lot of other applications in DeFi, digital payments, peer-to-peer payments, and with the Frankencoin and other stable coins that are created on chain, you have decentralized money creation. So this is a big difference. So one difference, of course, is decentralized. The association is here to oversee its development. It's to manage the community, but in the end we have no power over it. It's out there, and it lives. It moves on. We recently had a governance proposal by someone from the outside, and this will likely go through. And it shows this process works. It's a system in itself. And one distinctive factor, that what's the main difference between an organized system and a decentralized system? In an organized system, you have a top-down structure, someone who has control and command. And in a decentralized system, you also have organization. All participants work together, but they work together out of their own interest. It's not because they have a boss who tells them, you need to do this, you need to do that. If that works nicely, that's very beautiful to watch. It's like a choreography of different ecosystem participants that each acts. It's like the dream of a free market. Everyone acts in their own interest, and in the end, something nice develops. That's And today it's another step in that direction, like with this listing.
It's been a while in the making, right? It's I think there's even a question in here which I think we can address on that. What is the main difference in buying ZCHF from a CEX versus Uniswap? There's really two. Thank you so much, the advisor. There's like two big things, and that goes into this. Why we've been listed and quite liquid on Uniswap and Curve. Well, not we were when it's going to come again. But many on Uniswap for quite a while, and the difference is one is not actually an exchange. So if you look at any of the like decentralized markets, they're AMMs, they're automated market makers. So they have no order book. There's no direct order matching, and that makes it always a bit more difficult to kind of keep a close peg, to have those small adjustments which you need to be able to make. If you have a stable coin that should very, very closely track the value of the Swiss franc.
I mean, the main difference is one is custodial and the other one is non-custodial, regardless of how the order book works. I think this is the crypto guys, what they care about.
Yes.
They don't want to trust FTX or the next FTX with their money.
I was just getting that, but I was making the point the other way around, right? I mean, I'm coming from that decentralized world. I completely agree with you. However, let's just be honest that the vast majority of people who have a token, who are not very deep in the system, but who have touching crypto somehow, feel a lot more comfortable with the user experience of a centralized exchange. And that's so it's really two sides of the same coin. I mean, order book is like the technical, but it's non-custodial versus custodial. It's permissionless versus permission. I just had a conversation with one of our community members, not sure if he's in here now, who was not that happy about that was now on a CEX because now they have KYC and all kinds of things. But this is for other people, that is trust. You have someone you can call and shout at if they maybe reply or not, if you have a problem. And the second big part is the fiat integrations, right? If you want to get from having your money on a bank account, which is still a default for the vast majority of the population in this world, is you need to have a regulated or somewhat centralized on-ramp. You can do it via your bank or you can do it via exchange. Now, fact is, exchange. We're based in Switzerland. I know the Swiss market. Not sure if it's different in different places. Exchanges are by factors cheaper than any kind of on-ramp solution. Such as in Switzerland, you have SEBA. Now it's called Amina or Signum, which are banks, or even Bitcoin, right? Just the fact from getting from fiat to crypto is the cheapest on CEX. And that's why it is important for us to also have liquidity on a centralized exchange. That is also why we've taken that step. And there was one question about the cost with the listing. We'll get into that in a second. Thank you, Innovatev, for the really good questions you have here. To bear that cost, even though we had very good liquidity on DEXs. You want to add something here, Lucius?
Yes, I mean the about the cost question. I'm not sure if you're allowed to disclose, but it's a very low 5-digit amount, and then there's something to do and organize it airdrop or something like that. So
basically, the cost of the airdrop is public because that is the airdrop you get. So yeah,
the airdrop was 40,000.
It's $50,000, right?
Yes,
if
so
you
40,000
calculation,
yes.
Exactly. And that goes back to you, right? That is, if you are kind of participating in this airdrop, this will be paid out completely to users of Frankencoin on MEXC.
Just so we're clear, I want everyone to understand. You guys are referring, when you say airdrop, you're referring to the rewards on MEXC for the first week of trade and deposits there, and people can also, I saw invite friends if they use it for the first time. They're also like rewarded, and a lot of opportunities actually for mostly for new users. To earn by trading ZCHF on MEXC.
Yes, correct. Also, there's a second airdrop. Lucius doesn't know anything about it. You don't know anything about it. For all the people who are in this stream today, there will be a second airdrop. It's going to be a bit of a different one.
Yes,
but you stay on. You stay on, you will see it. Yeah, but that, you know, low 5 digits number for an exchange listing, which I believe is actually quite a good price for what I've heard, and especially like the exchange of the size of MEXC.
Yes, they're very innovative and open, and it's I think it's a nice exchange. It seems to work well. I haven't used it before that, but now I have an account, and it looks like it works.
It works well. Yeah, I well, where's that? Let me actually check. Let me share my screen so we can see how the order book is looking like. I think I can do that just directly here. Exactly. Share screen and then window. Just loading MEXC here. There you go. Nice. So where are we? The volume is like nicely coming along. I think the price is also very tight. You have pretty good liquidity. You know, I mean, obviously, if you want to trade more than 50K or 60K in one go, you might want to do a limit order. So the market maker also has time to kind of replenish and give you a good price. I'm not sure. Can you do TVAPs in here? Let me check that. I haven't tried it out. I'm not an exchange specialist myself. What is OCO? Lucius, do you know that? Or does anyone know? Actually, no. But yeah, so it's just a good question for Mr. Luke came in. Yes, very much monitoring liquidity. So what we are interested in from the association side is a bunch of things, right? It's the liquidity. There is certain KPIs which we like to just be able to, certain trade sizes which are just being able to execute. But what is super important to us is the spread on one hand side, and how closely is the price tracking the actual mid price of the Swiss franc dollar.
Yes, and we rely for that on market makers, because the association itself is not active in the market. The association has a narrowly defined mandate of supporting the ecosystem, and I think it even says in the articles, we don't do active trading.
Yeah.
So that's and what we see sometimes is that market participants say, we would like to have this on our layer 2 chain, for example. Can we help with creating liquidity? So it's really nice to see how the ecosystem grows organically.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of course, liquidity is a major concern. Any successful stablecoin needs to be liquid. Without liquidity, it loses its value.
And that's why this is a big step forward, being listed on MEXC, just to have an additional channel which open to cancel. Oh, thank you so much, Sam.
There's one more question of Innovatev. So who owns the FPS? So I think I can disclose the Frankencoin Association wallet. The Frankencoin Association has about 1,900 FPS and about 9% of the votes. So, and the governance system is designed in a way that that it's not a majority that dominates everything. Everyone with 2%, only 2% of the Frankencoin pool shares of the governance token can block any new proposal. So it's really decentralized, and it's also designed in a way where anyone can make a proposal, and the proposal automatically goes through after a while if no one intervenes. And this is a very interesting property. It means in a world in which everyone acts rationally, no one makes ever a bad proposal because it will be voted down. It's also costly. You pay 1,000 Frankencoin that you will lose anyway if you make a proposal. So you should think twice before making it. And this creates an equilibrium where in a rational world, all the proposals should be good and no one ever needs to take any governance action. So this is the maximum passivity possible. And about the further Frankencoin owners, we know a lot of them, but there's also, I would say, I wouldn't be able to tell you more of the majority of FPS owners. It's always well distributed.
What is a very good thing I always do, and I'm going to share it with you very quickly. If you go to frankencoin.com/governance,
and the number one is the number one wallet is that of the Frankencoin Association.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen again very briefly. Window, there you go. So this is a public page, right? Anyone can check that. If you scroll down, you can see the voting power of the different wallets. And basically, the important part here is anyone who has above 2%, right? Because anyone who is above 2% has veto rights. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different holders who themselves, anyone else can also, you can obviously bunch yourself together and veto also if you have less than 2%. But we have 13 different wallets which by themselves would be able to veto any decision. And I can tell this is not us. This is not members of the association or the association themselves. Here you can see what Lucy says. That's the association wallet. So that we feel rather comfortable with this decentralization. Also, another thing we say that the association doesn't vote with its own wallets, right? Those FPS, they're used to also finance those expenses, for example, the MEXC listing, right? But they're not used to veto or to vote anything. That would be individuals in the community who would then do that. Just really the role of the Frankencoin Association is a steward role, where stewards were kind of
maybe you should also show how FPS are created.
Yeah, sure. I mean, anyone here can create FPS, right? There's if you go to equity, you can mint. If you have some Frankencoins, ZCHF, you can mint new FPS. So I could now, let's say, I go to MEXC. Let's say I buy 100,000 ZCHF. Well, which I would have to do in 2 trades because there's not enough liquidity right now. But I could get that done in about 5 minutes or so. We just need to wait until the market makers react. I could literally put it here and then put here 100,000 CCHF, and I would receive 81 FPS immediately. Now there's one caveat, and look, it's full transparency, right? Those FPS, they will only accrue voting power over time. It's a time-based voting.
Yes, and the important part is, so this is a bonding curve integrated in the system. So every additional FPS gets more expensive. And it's what happens with the Frankencoin that you put in there. They are stored in the equity pool of the system. So this is a reserve that is used in case of lossful liquidation. So normally liquidation should be profitable, but if there's a liquidation loss because Bitcoin crashes by 50% in a day or so, then this loss needs to be covered by this reserve pool. And the FPS you get is basically reward for taking part of this risk. And on the plus side, you also get a benefit when the system grows and FPS market goes up. But what's listed today is not the FPS, it's the Frankencoin itself. So the listing is only about the stablecoin. The idea behind that is that the stablecoin is what needs liquidity. And if you really want to invest into the system and take that risk, you should be knowledgeable enough to interact with the DeFi protocol.
Exactly. DYOR, right? It's very well audited. It's a very secure protocol, but it's also a rather complex protocol. So, actually, yeah, there's two related questions here. Does MEXC also offer? Yes, they do. I think not directly into CHF.
I don't think they have Swiss Franc payments, right? No. I can check. But
they don't. I'm pretty sure they don't. But they offer off-ramp in dollars. I know that probably only a half answers your question. They do off-ramp, but only in dollars. There's only very few exchanges who have native Swiss Franc off-ramps. I think Kraken...
By the way, Johannes, I think that, but maybe it is possible in a way, like after they get the ZCHF, there are places that they can go and off-ramp it into a CHF.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, that is correct. Yes. So there is very liquid off-ramps. You have two large ones, DFX being one and Montpellier being the other one. They do direct off-ramping from CCHF into CHF. So you can get it kind of...
By the second one, that's just how you properly say the name of Mount Pelerin.
Mount Pelerin, yeah, it's French.
Okay.
Probably you can say it's really...
Yeah, like for example, like for me when I heard it for the first time, when you say it like it actually is said, like for me, when I just see it how it's written, I didn't even understand that it was that one.
There's an interesting backstory there, I guess. I think Montpellier, and maybe Lucius knows that better than I do. Montpellier is a mountain close to Geneva, which is where they're from. However, it is also very famous for libertarian ideas somewhere, right, Lucius?
Yeah, that's the Montpellier Society. So this is a society that was founded by Friedrich August von Hayek, this very famous Nobel Prize-winning libertarian economist. So it's a good name. It embodies the spirit of crypto, to say.
While we're talking about names, Lucius, you want to comment quickly on the connection between Mary Ann Shelley and Frankenstein?
So yes, of course. There's this famous novel about the Frankenstein monster. But actually, there's in this novel, a Swiss doctor, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, creates this artificial human. And this human, of course, gets out of control and in the end kills itself. So that's the sad part of the story. But the Frankencoin is a hint to that name and a hint towards its self-governing nature. So but it's some marketing guys told us that's a horrible name. You shouldn't use it. But somehow I got to like it because it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you it's self-governing. It tells you it's powerful. It tells you it's not without risks. It's to a certain degree an experiment, and but it can do a lot. And but not its destiny is not set in stone. So it can be a very useful tool for the better of everyone.
Here now you've heard it from the horse's mouth, because I'm running around and kind of explain to everyone that, it's Frankenstein. It's where does that name come from? But look, it's good. We have, please, thank you for that comment, Innovatev. Please don't make Frankencoin.
No, this is the good one.
Very good, very good. I have another question from Silvio R. From Telegram. So how much CCHF did MEXC start with? Were those tokens also minted through borrowing? Also, is there a market maker providing liquidity? 3 questions, really. So right now, there's, I think, 60 or 120K on both sides, right?
But and yes, so it's all the Frankencoins are minted through the system. There's no backdoor or any privileged market maker that could mint for themselves. And so someone minted them and provided them to the market maker, and the market maker is now using them to do its work.
It's not MEXC themselves. There's two active market makers, but but not MEXC. They only provide the platform. But so far I think they're doing a pretty good job. If I've been looking at the mid-market price, and it's quite all right. Let's move the volumes a bit up and see if they can keep that.
Yes.
Cool. And I think we had some more questions. Yes. So where will Frankencoin be in 6 months to 1 year? Maybe I can take that on, because there's so many exciting things coming.
That's your responsibility.
Exactly. It's my responsibility. I envision a Frankencoin in 6 months to 1 year. Oh, now I'm on the big screen. Damn, they've put me onto the spot.
Too much.
But I envision a place where you have deep liquidity, where basically you can get Frankencoin wherever you are at a very good price. I want Frankencoin to be the default, right? If you think about an on-chain Swiss franc, you think about a Frankencoin. It's a bit like Tether used to be, where if you think about an on-chain stablecoin, you think about USDT. That was for a very long time just a default, which you would go to, and the Frankencoin should play that same role. Obviously, there's been a bunch of questions today in our community about if the price is going up, and I always said, hey, that depends on what Mr. Trump is mainly doing. So obviously, we hope that as a Swiss, this is a twofold, right? But I hope that the Frankencoin will be performing really well, as it's been so far this year. So and I also what I'm looking is that anyone who wants to use stablecoins in their everyday life, that they don't need a bank account anymore, and they can just very tightly, and there's actually something coming here very, very soon. Maybe some of you know some stuff about it. I'm not going to name any names. If you dig deep, you'll find out, because it's public. Things which will allow you to have really cool liquidity and pay in stores, kind of using Frankencoin. I mean, it's live in Switzerland in Spars, but I'm talking about a very general thing where worldwide, wherever you are, you have your Frankencoins. Basically, you get your savings rate on it, and you can just pay with it. So don't need to worry about exchange fees and exchanging and just UX being super simple and just working. And the third thing where I see Frankencoin to develop quite a bit is DeFi integrations. Frankencoin should be wherever there is, like be it leveraging, borrowing. You might want to go short dollar with the Swiss franc as back, and that would be really cool, right? All those kind of things is what is coming in the next 6 to 12 months. You happy with that, Lucius?
Yes, this sounds like a great plan. It's accelerating anyway, so there's a lot happening recently.
Yes, yeah, it's picking up, and it's the time is ripe for a Swiss franc stablecoin. Yeah, you have a very weird typo in your comment, Innovative. I'm not sure where that typo might come from. Cool. Now, keep coming with the questions. We have a bunch more, but it's always nice to see some more questions. It is another question here. Are you going to list FPS also on MEXC? It's not currently planned. As I've shown you before, FPS is actually liquid, but it's a bit more involved. So it makes sense, for it to be liquid as a bonding curve on the system itself. I had some more questions buried here, right? Let me find that. Okay, any other expenses to other CEXs on the horizon? Now, I mean, I can probably publicly state that I believe our dream exchange would be Kraken. And
because of the native Swiss franc.
Exactly. So they're, I think, the only big exchange that has native Swiss franc integration. So anyone here, if you have good connections to Kraken,
really,
tell them that they are missing out.
Yeah, they're missing out. They're missing out on many things.
Actually, in a way, Kraken, it's my favorite centralized exchange, mostly because of the founder, Jesse. I don't know if you've been following Jesse for the past few years, but I think that he has continuously proven that he's really doing it for the right reason and for the right reasons, and he's very much pro-decentralization, definitely beyond any other CEX leader that I know of. So it really it will be very exciting actually to see ZCHF on Kraken. And also, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Ink Chain by Kraken. You know what that is?
Actually, no. What is that? I've never heard of it.
This is like it's like Coinbase has Base.
Yeah.
And it's the leading entity behind Base, to phrase it more correctly. The same mechanism is with Kraken and their network Incon Chain. It's called
Incon Chain. Okay. No, let's check it out. I mean, but you mentioned Base. Now, Base is a good example, right? I think Coinbase would also be really cool to be. They, as you might know when you've listened to our last AMA we did, we're live on Base as well, and there's quite a bit of liquidity coming to Base, and the Base team, they're super interested in kind of pushing non-USD stablecoins and really bringing that FX narrative on chain, and they have those really nifty integrations with Coinbase. So maybe Coinbase is next. I don't know. That depends on politics on the other side of the Atlantic, more than anything, I would say.
Any other centralized exchanges outside of the US that you guys are interested in for the foreseeable future?
It's a good question. I mean, because the big, from a European perspective, the big ones are the US ones. Bitpanda would be really great, but Bitpanda they're a broker more than exchange.
Really? What about Binance, for example? For example, here, Binance is, well...
Obviously, I mean, Binance is the big B, right? Binance would also be really, really cool. They're also very, very strong in Latin America.
I mean, the big B in Switzerland is Bitcoin Swiss. And here you can actually store Frankencoins. It's supported. You can store and retrieve it again, but it's not connected to an exchange yet. So this is a missing link. This is also why it wasn't promoted so far.
Okay, Big B in Switzerland is already listed. But so Big B outside of Switzerland would be Binance. Maybe from someone from Binance with Binance connections here is listening. Also, obviously, very, very happy to do.
By the way, guys, can I add a question of my own about the liquidity? It's actually quite incredible to see these such a centralized exchange listing and to really see the expansion. But are we also going to see the same thing on the DEX's space? Like, are there any plans on getting more ZCHF liquidity on chain with in various ways? For example,
yes, sir.
For example, we've also mentioned similar things, Johannes, by the way, like Coinbase customers are actually going to have access for people using like Aerodrome pools. Just an example there, and the same kind of thing we will probably see everywhere, like this, intersection. So actually, to be honest, for myself, I'm even more curious about how Frankencoin and ZCHF grows on chain rather than off chain. In a way.
Yeah. There's something really cool happening there now. I mentioned that before, right? The issue you have sometimes on AMMs or decentralized exchanges is a bit keeping the peg very close and kind of moving that liquidity, making sure you have very tight spreads. And that goes very deep into kind of bonding curve design. And that's why, MMs work really well with very volatile assets, because then you generate a lot of fees and you have incentives to actually, have the liquidity on there, which you don't have as much with stablecoin. Curve did the first kind of proposal for that some years back with their what was it called, Lucius? The stable curve that basically they allowed to have like dollar stables or with the same asset very, very tight.
Curve is excellent in experimenting with these very innovative bonding curves that have very focused and concentrated liquidity. But it's not perfect yet. That's why they keep improving it. For example, we had one pool where this concentrated pool, the concentration was too far away from the actual exchange rate, so it would never self-correct. So this is a matter of configuration. So we need to have a slightly better curve and hope that works better. It's an interesting way of optimizing this problem.
Yeah, but basically, the point is there is a lot of innovations happening to create those very tight liquidity pools. And so to answer your question here, the advisor, yes, there is a lot more liquidity and tighter liquidity coming to AMMs as well. Kind of stay tuned for that. I know a lot is going to happen around Dev Connect in November. So anyone who's coming to Cono Sur will definitely hear a lot about that there. But yeah, so that's coming. Now, I want to take time because, I think we're already kind of running 45 minutes here. I promised you something. So there's one question I have is kind of, can you explain on the rewards for the upcoming weeks? So there's two parts to that. Let me open those quickly. I can share my screen again. To find the link. Where is it? You put like this music in between.
Yeah,
guys like
I will while Johannes is scrolling over there, I will ask everyone to please give us a follow on the new YouTube channel. We really want to grow it and bring you more and more video content regarding Frankencoin, ZCHF, and a lot of the stuff that the esteemed gentlemen are working on. And really, and okay, Johannes, let's hand it over to you to explain about the rewards.
So yeah, so basically here you have kind of those rewards. That's the MEXC rewards, where you deposit and you have to do some trades, and I think the more trades you do, the more CCHF you get. And this is just starting now, and you can invite also new users. So that's one set of the rewards. That's the kind of do that, trade on MEXC, get some Frankencoin, and then the second reward. Let me share my screen here. Is this here.
Oh,
so basically anyone who was here for this launch can claim one of those hats.
This is good, man. This is good. I didn't know you were. Now I understand why you wanted to know how to upload the item. Good stuff.
Exactly. So now,
by the way, for those just listening and aren't watching, there's now a picture of a hat on the screen saying, "I was there for the first ZCHF listing, and all I got was this pony hat." Good job, John. Good.
So what I will do, I will share the link in here. I think
you put it in you can you put it in the YouTube comments as well, or just give it to me. I will also.
Yes, I will share it. So this link is 1 second. This link, which I'm sending you now, has a discount code attached. So you will actually be able to claim this hat for free. It's only open today.
This is so cool. Where are you sending it?
I think I need to find out how that works. I said it as a host. Is that correct? Maybe I have to. It's Frankencoin. There you go. That's the one. I can delete this again. Not sure. That's not it. I'm still learning how to use Restream. So
I think you just have. You showed it twice, no?
Maybe. Yeah, one says host, the other one says Frankencoin.
It's on the YouTube comments. By the way, guys, if
I can do a QR code, actually. I can do a QR code.
Do it. I will also try to show it for them at the moment. Just a second. Are you guys watching it? Are you seeing it?
I need to take the picture away.
I will just...
So
if you press the link, you will get to the merch store. And yeah, can get this hat, can claim it. And good job, Johannes.
So it says a price here, but then when you go to checkout, it's gonna kind of remove that price. So you have the QR code here.
You can add the QR code, and we will also share it on the socials if you have it.
Yes, share the link exactly. So join our Telegram group and claim your MEXC hat. Only today. It's gonna be gone by tomorrow. And thank you so much for being part of kind of this journey we're going through here. And if you know, like, if you have any more questions, now is kind of the time. If you want to add some comments, now is the time. If not, thank you so much for kind of being part of the Frankencoin journey and helping us to make such a cool little community. Yeah. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Definitely. Anything you guys want to add before we wrap it up, gentlemen?
Everyone busy ordering the hat.
Exactly.
Good job. Thank you, Lucius and Johannes, so much for your time. I really think it's actually very important to interact this way with the community and to let them know all about the process and what's happening. I think it makes things much easier to understand, first of all. And I also really think it works on the important element of having the community feel and realize actually that they're a part in the journey, and this doesn't happen if like people aren't really excited about the idea and getting involved and actually start using the power of the Swiss Franc stablecoin on chain, ZCHF, and it's definitely an exciting journey to be on. Congratulations for this first major CEX listing. Hopefully will be just the first of many to come, and hopefully we will see ZCHF liquidity and usability grow in the upcoming year, like end of this year and next year. And honestly appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this journey with you, and I'm really excited about it. So with that being said, thank you everyone for tuning in. Subscribe to our socials and the channel. Definitely enjoyed having you on, and see you soon, hopefully, on our next stream. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.